Welcome back to the channel World Coins Master, another exciting journey into the fascinating world of rare and valuable US coins. If you're a coin enthusiast, a treasure hunter, or just someone curious about the hidden gems that might be lurking in your pocket change, you're in for a real treat. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into one of the most intriguing and highly coveted coins in modern American history, the 1987 D. Roosevelt dime. This unassuming 10-cent piece, minted in Denver, may appear ordinary at first glance, but certain examples of this coin have stunned collectors and appraisers by fetching astonishing values of up to $13 million. What could possibly make a coin with a face value of just 10 cents so incredibly valuable? The answer lies in the complex interplay of minting errors, rare anomalies, historical context, and collector demand. Buckle up, because what you're about to learn could completely change how you view the coins you carry every day. The 1987 D. Roosevelt dime is a product of the Denver Mint, which has long been known for producing billions of circulating coins annually. While most of these coins are struck without incident and enter circulation as intended, a small handful escape the minting process with unique defects or anomalies that make them stand out in the eyes of collectors. These flaws, often referred to as mint errors or die varieties, can include everything from double strikes and off-center impressions to missing elements, unusual metal compositions, and misplaced or altered mint marks. In the case of the 1987 D dime, several error types have been reported over the years, each one contributing to the mystique and skyrocketing value of the most famous specimens. One of the key features that sets the ultra-rare 1987 D dime apart is the presence of striking minting errors that occurred during the coining process. Among these are off-center strikes, where the coin's design is not properly aligned with the blank planchet. These dimes often display a crescent-shaped blank area and can range from minor misalignments to dramatic half-missing designs. The more severe the misalignment, the more valuable the coin becomes. Collectors prize these pieces for their uniqueness and rarity, as they vividly illustrate what happens when the precise minting machinery goes slightly awry. Another notable category of error seen in some 1987 D dimes is the double die error. This occurs when the coin die, which is used to stamp the design onto the blank coin, shifts slightly between impressions, causing parts of the design to appear doubled. On a 1987 D dime, this may be seen in the lettering, numbers, or even in the profile of President Roosevelt himself. A prominent double die on a coin is not only visually striking but also incredibly rare, and its scarcity drives up its value exponentially. One famous example of a 1987 D dime with a dramatic double die obverse was reportedly auctioned for over $1.5 million alone, due to its distinct doubling on the word Liberty and Roosevelt's eye and ear details. Another intriguing anomaly that has captured the imagination of collectors is the so-called no-FG error. On Roosevelt dimes, the initials FG refer to Frank Gasparo, the designer of the coin's reverse, and are located to the right of the torch on the back of the coin. In some 1987 D dimes, however, these initials are either faint or missing altogether, likely due to overpolishing of the die or other minting mishaps. While this might seem like a minor detail, the absence of these initials transforms the coin from a common circulation piece into a rare error coin. Combined with other errors, such as die cracks or die clashes, these no-FG dimes have been known to command huge premiums among serious collectors. But perhaps the most compelling and mystifying feature of the most valuable 1987 D dimes is the possibility of transitional or experimental planchet errors. These errors occur when a coin is struck on a metal blank intended for a different coin, sometimes even from a different year or denomination. For example, a dime struck on a foreign coin planchet, or on a blank intended for a penny or a quarter, would be an extraordinary find. There are whispers and rumors in the numismatic community of 1987 D dimes that exhibit unusual coloration, weight, or magnetism, suggesting the use of an off-metal planchet. If authenticated, such a coin would be virtually one of a kind and could easily be worth millions due to its extreme rarity and the sheer improbability of its existence. In addition to mint errors, variations in the 1987 D mint mark itself have played a crucial role in elevating the status of some examples of this coin. The mint mark, a small letter, D, indicating that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint, is supposed to be placed in a consistent location on each coin. However, due to human error or mechanical inconsistencies, some coins exhibit misplaced mint marks, tilted mint marks, or even repunched mint marks, where the letter was struck more than once in slightly different positions. These small but significant differences can create entire subcategories of collectible coins, each with their own rarity and value. One repunched mint mark variety of the 1987 D dime, featuring a clearly doubled D, is believed to exist in only a few known specimens, making it a holy grail for specialists in Roosevelt dime varieties. Historical context also plays a role in the appeal of the 1987 D dime. By the mid-1980s, the U.S. Mint had begun using more advanced technology to streamline coin production and reduce errors. As a result, coins from this era are generally more uniform and error-free than those from earlier decades. This means that major minting mistakes from 1987 stand out even more, as they defy the trend of increasing precision. For collectors, a serious error on a modern coin represents a fascinating contradiction, a rare imperfection in an era of industrial perfection. This historical irony adds depth and narrative to the value of the coin, making it more than just a technical anomaly. In some reported cases, the 1987 D dime has been found with signs of die clashes, a type of error that occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, leaving ghost-like impressions of one side's design on the opposite side of the coin. These coins are visually stunning and extremely uncommon, especially when the clash is clear and affects prominent design elements. The drama of a die clash error, combined with the existing value of the base coin, elevates these examples to legendary status. Another contributing factor to the immense value of some 1987 D dimes is the condition, or grade of the coin. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better preservation and sharper details. A coin graded MS70, mint state 70, is considered flawless under magnification and is exceedingly rare, especially among older circulation coins. Most coins experience some wear and tear over time, but on the rare occasion when a 1987 D dime is discovered in pristine, uncirculated condition, possibly from a forgotten mint set or sealed roll, its value can skyrocket. When this immaculate condition is combined with a rare error, the resulting coin becomes a numismatic jackpot. Collectors also pay close attention to strike quality, luster, and eye appeal. A 1987 D dime with strong, crisp details, vibrant mint luster, and no distracting blemishes can attract fierce bidding at auctions, even in the absence of major errors. The perfect storm occurs when such a high-grade coin also possesses one or more of the rare mint errors we've discussed. This unique convergence is what transforms an everyday dime into a multimillion-dollar treasure. Over the years, stories have emerged of lucky individuals discovering valuable 1987 D dimes in the most unexpected places, from old change jars and cash drawers to estate sales and flea markets. These tales fuel the imagination and keep collectors on the lookout for the next big discovery. The possibility that a tiny, overlooked coin could hold life-changing value is part of what makes coin collecting such a thrilling and rewarding pursuit. Numismatic experts continue to research and analyze these rare coins, using advanced tools like microscopes, digital imaging, and spectrographic analysis to authenticate and document every known example. These efforts help establish provenance and prevent counterfeiting, ensuring that each verified $13 million dime retains its rightful place in history. Ultimately, what makes the 1987 D Roosevelt dime worth $13 million is not just a single factor, but the combination of multiple rare attributes. A perfect storm of mint errors, mint mark anomalies, die varieties, historical timing, condition rarity, and collector demand creates the perfect numismatic specimen. As interest in rare coins continues to grow, the legend of the 1987 D dime only gets stronger, inspiring new collectors to hunt through their pocket change and search for the next million-dollar discovery. As we wrap up this deep dive into the fascinating world of the 1987 D Roosevelt dime, remember that the world of coin collecting is filled with hidden surprises. A coin you carry every day could potentially be worth a fortune, just waiting for the right set of eyes to recognize its value. Stay curious, stay observant, and who knows, you might just be the next lucky person to discover a piece of American numismatic history worth millions. Let's now explore in even greater detail how specific errors from known examples of the 1987 D dime contributed to their astronomical valuation. We'll continue by analyzing exact case studies, exploring their minting journey, and breaking down how error recognition and authentication influence market value. Today, we're diving into the curious and astonishing case of the 1994 P. Roosevelt dime, a coin that some experts and collectors believe could be worth as much as $11 million. That's right, a single 10-cent coin potentially valued at $11 million. And the reasons behind this staggering figure are as intriguing as they are rare. It's a story of errors, anomalies, and unexpected minting mysteries that have turned an ordinary-looking dime into one of the most talked-about coins in American numismatic history. Let's begin by taking a step back and understanding the broader context in which the 1994 P dime was minted. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1946. It was introduced to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who died in 1945. The coin was also a tribute to his efforts in fighting polio and establishing the March of Dimes. The design features Roosevelt's left-facing profile on the obverse side, while the reverse displays a torch in the center flanked by an olive branch on the left and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. Now, on the surface, the 1994 P Roosevelt dime doesn't appear to be particularly special. Tens of millions of these coins were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which is indicated by the P Mint mark just above the date. But what elevates a specific subset of these dimes into the multimillion-dollar category is the presence of multiple minting errors and anomalies that occurred under extremely rare circumstances. One of the most significant factors behind the high value of certain 1994 P dimes is the existence of off-center strikes. An off-center strike occurs when a coin is not properly seated in the coining press, causing the design to be imprinted off-center. The degree to which the strike is off-center can vary, with more extreme examples often commanding higher values. Some 1994 P dimes have been discovered with as much as 40 to 60% off-center strikes, which makes them highly desirable to collectors. But in addition to being off-center, some of these dimes also exhibit doubling, which means the design elements such as the date, mint mark, or inscriptions appear twice due to a misalignment in the die striking process. Perhaps even more rare are the 1994 P dimes that exhibit what's known as a broad strike error. In this kind of error, the coin is struck without the collar that normally helps shape the edges. As a result, the coin comes out wider than usual and lacks the standard reeded edge. Broad strike errors are already rare in dimes, and for a 1994 P example to have this error significantly increases its value. But there's more. Some of the most talked about examples also feature what's known as a double die obverse, or DDO. In these cases, elements of the obverse side of the coin, like Roosevelt's profile or the word liberty, show noticeable doubling when viewed under magnification. Now imagine a coin that exhibits all these errors combined: an off-center strike, a broad strike, and a DDO, all on a single 1994 P dime. That's exactly the kind of coin that has driven collectors into bidding wars and generated enormous buzz in the numismatic community. Add to that the fact that some of these coins may also feature anomalies in the mint mark itself. In extremely rare cases, the P mint mark has been found to be misaligned, improperly formed, or even entirely missing. Mint mark anomalies are considered one of the most important error types in the world of coin collecting because they speak directly to flaws in the minting process. What's fascinating is that the 1994 P dime is not considered rare in general. In fact, over 1.3 billion dimes were struck at the Philadelphia Mint that year. So how can something so common also be so incredibly valuable? The answer lies in the law of large numbers. When you're dealing with over a billion coins, even a 1 in a million anomaly means that a handful of error coins could still exist. But because error coins are typically caught and destroyed during the minting process, the survival of these coins is both unlikely and miraculous. One known example of a high-value 1994 P dime was found by a collector who had been going through rolls of coins from the bank. At first glance, it seemed like just another dime. But upon closer inspection under magnification, it became clear that the coin featured several unusual characteristics. First, the coin was slightly broader than a standard dime, suggesting a broad strike. Then, the collector noticed that the word liberty appeared doubled. Finally, the P mint mark looked strange, almost as if it had been repunched. The coin was sent to a third-party grading service, which confirmed the presence of multiple errors and assigned it a high grade. Soon after, the coin was appraised at an estimated value of $500,000. But in the years since, as demand and awareness have grown, numismatic experts believe that the value of similar coins, especially those with even more dramatic errors, could reach into the multimillion-dollar range, with $11 million not being entirely out of the question for a perfect storm of errors. Another element that adds value is provenance. Coins that come from well-known collections or have a documented history of previous owners tend to fetch higher prices. If a 1994 p dime with these rare errors were to be discovered and authenticated today, and if it were to come from an established collection or be sold through a high-profile auction house like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, the resulting media coverage and collector interest could push the value even higher. Imagine the frenzy among collectors if such a coin were featured in a prime-time auction with competitive bidding from around the world. It could easily become one of the most expensive modern-era coins ever sold. Let's talk a bit about the technology and human error behind why these mistakes happen in the first place. The US Mint uses incredibly high-speed machinery to produce coins. Dies are placed into presses that strike blank planchets to create coins. Sometimes the dies themselves can be flawed, or they may shift slightly during operation, leading to double strikes or misaligned images. Occasionally, planchets that are the wrong size or wrong metal alloys slip into the wrong press, causing dramatic error coins known as wrong planchet errors. Although no verified 1994 p dime struck on the wrong planchet have surfaced to date, the mere possibility keeps collectors searching diligently. Another curious aspect is the phenomenon of transitional errors. These occur when the mint transitions from one composition to another, and a few coins are struck using the old metal or design by mistake. While there were no major composition changes in 1994 for the dime, it is speculated that test runs or experimental planchets could have been used briefly and accidentally escaped detection. The mystery surrounding these possibilities adds to the intrigue and potential value of the 1994 p dime. There's also speculation about intentional mint errors. Coins created deliberately by mint employees, either as experiments or with the knowledge that errors would increase collector interest. While this is a controversial topic, there have been historical cases where mint employees were caught creating and selling intentional errors. If a 1994 p dime with multiple anomalies were ever linked to such a case, it could further elevate its notoriety and value. Beyond technical errors, aesthetic and visual appeal also play a role in valuation. Coins that show dramatic and visually striking errors tend to attract more attention. A coin with obvious doubling or a dramatically off-center strike can be more appealing than one with subtle errors that require magnification to see. This is important because the emotional and visual impact of a coin can sometimes outweigh the rarity of the error itself. It's about storytelling, and a coin that tells a compelling story stands a much better chance of commanding a high price. And then there's condition. Even with errors, the overall grade of the coin, how well it has been preserved over time, is critical. Coins that are in mint state or proof condition are significantly more valuable than those that are worn or damaged. Grading companies like PCGS and NGC use a 70-point scale to assess a coin's condition, and coins that achieve a grade of MS68 or higher are considered elite. A 1994 p dime with major errors and a grade of MS68 or higher could very well command a 7 or even 8-figure price at auction. Let's also look at what collectors and experts have said about this coin in online forums, trade shows, and numismatic publications. There's a growing consensus that modern-era error coins are underappreciated in the market, and as more collectors enter the space, demand for high-quality error dimes has grown. The internet has played a major role in connecting collectors and spreading awareness of rare finds. Platforms like YouTube, Reddit, and eBay have democratized the world of coin collecting, making it easier than ever to learn about, find, and trade rare coins. As a result, coins like the 1994 p error dime are now getting the recognition they deserve. In some ways, this coin represents the perfect intersection of history, chance, craftsmanship, and human error. It reminds us that even in a highly controlled system like the US Mint, unpredictable things can happen. And when they do, they create opportunities for ordinary people to find extraordinary treasures. Imagine buying a $10 roll of dimes at your local bank and finding a coin that could change your life. That's the magic of numismatics, and it's why collectors continue to search, study, and dream. So the next time you come across a 1994 p Roosevelt dime, don't dismiss it as pocket change. Take a closer look. Examine the edges, inspect the mint mark, check for doubling, and look,